episodes every Wednesday. Changed our upload time, but I mean, just check it out sometime Wednesday. Anytime Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. We're going to start out our podcast by talking about Birth of a Nation, which I actually came up with a really funny Birth of a Nation parody idea.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think. And it's because for those of you who don't know, Birth of a Nation came out in 1915, and it is 3 hours long. It's a 3 hour long silent film. I know, really exciting. And it is a movie about the Civil War and about the oppression of the white people. And the KKK comes in and they save the day at the end of the movie and kill all the black people. So it was pretty cool. And I like it because it's you never get to see that perspective. We're always seeing the perspective of like the victims of racism, but you never get to see. I feel like you don't get to see the perspective of like, hey, racism's alive and well. Like there's nothing wrong with this. Like, you know what I mean? Like every time you see racism in a movie, it's always like, ooh, that's a bad thing.
It's definitely very odd. It reminds me of the Triumph of Will movie with the Nazis. You know, where like,
I want to see that. Wasn't that made like by Hitler or something? Like
no, it's made by a filmmaker. It was actually a female filmmaker that Hitler really he really liked. Her name's like Leni Riefenstahl or something like that. Her name. But yeah, dude, it's the same way. You're right. It's so interesting. I don't know if I'd say I like them as much as I just find them really interesting. Both those movies, in the sense of like, you're right. You never get to see them being like, yeah, I mean, we're good.
It's like Reefer Madness. Like,
yeah.
It's like talking about how if you smoke marijuana, it'll make you like murder someone or rape someone. It'll destroy your life. Like you'll be in a mental hospital if you do marijuana because of how bad it is. Like, and people were like jumping out of windows because they smoked weed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like funny now to think about how crazy it was, but that's kind of how. But I thought they should make a documentary about being fat, about Americans being fat, and like it could be like the same thing. It'd be like the skinny people are like oppressing the fat people, and the fat people need to rise up against them, and they should call it Girth of a Nation.
Girth of a Nation. That's
Girth of a Nation.
The Girth of a Nation.
Dude, that would be it. Dude, that's the episode. That's the podcast title right there.
Girth of a Nation.
Girth of a Nation.
I think that would be really funny. I mean, is super, but it's like a pro Super Size Me. Dude, what if that's what it was? It's like McDonald's brings out like dude, that would be hilarious if McDonald's brought out like a Super Size Me like 2, you know, like a rebuttal of a movie. And it's just the guy like eating and getting fat. And he's like, I really like getting fat. I love gaining weight. This is great. This is awesome.
What if it's the reverse? What if it's like a 600-pound dude, a nice 600-pound life guy, and he is going to be like, for every day, for 30 days, 3 meals a day, I'm going to eat nothing but vegetables and water. And it's like the reverse of like seeing what it's like to be healthy, and it just destroys his body. Like,
dude,
it's so crazy.
What if they took one of those? Okay, this is bad, but it kind of sounds funny. What if they took one of those 600-pound life guys, and they put them on like Naked and Afraid, and they said like, you're not allowed to eat, but they leave them out there for like 30 days.
Dude, if you just left out a bowl of water for a 600-pound dude and change him to your radiator in the basement at like a long steep staircase.
Wait. Why we kidnapped him now? Like, why is
you kidnapped him and you threw him down the stairs? And dude, I was thinking about this. I've thought about this a lot of times. If I had a friend who was 500 pounds, 500 pounds is literally, you're knocking on death's door at 500 pounds. Like, you know what I mean? Unless you're like, even if, I would say only way you could be healthy at 500 pounds if you're like a bodybuilder and you're like 7 foot tall or something.
Well, but I think also if you just have really big muscle, you know what I mean? Like, because muscle weighs so much. Like if you're,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you're
even those guys though, I mean, is that healthy?
No. So I actually heard a bodybuilder say that the impact of being a bodybuilder is the same impact of being obese.
I was about to say that
your heart doesn't know the difference between, it still has to pump blood to all those areas.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude, those guys don't look much healthier, really. And that's not like a diss on bodybuilders as much as it is just they look weird, don't they? Like
they're mobile. They're at least mobile. They can at least like get out of a car without having to have an open parking space next to their car. You know what I mean?
I remember one of my friends, she asked me, she was like, well, what do you count as like weight problems, weight issues, right? And I was like, well, when your weight becomes an issue, like when you start saying things like, well, I can't live on the third flight, the third floor because I can't climb up 3 flights of stairs every day. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but like that's an issue. Like if you have to like completely change your life around because of how much you weigh, I mean, that's an issue. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if because I was so skinny, I was like, whoa, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not allowed to do this now because I'm too skinny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not a lot of things that being too skinny. Maybe like weight requirements, like if you're not heavy enough for a roller coaster or something like that.
I'm sorry, I'm too emaciated to really enjoy this. I
always envy skinny dudes like Pete Davidson. Like, I feel like skinny is like in right now. Like a good looking skinny guy is
skinny is in. I feel like that's funny that you say that, because I don't know if that's like an in thing or if that's just how I don't know, the Beatles were all skinny.
I really envy like Brody's body type. That like skinny skater, like drop crotch skinny jeans. You know what I'm talking about?
Skinny jeans.
I love that. Like, I always wanted to be that dude, but I'm like, man, if I do it, it's gonna look like your dad trying to look like a skater. You know, if I do it.
I remember one of my friend's dad, he wore skinny jeans, and it looked, he was really cool though, but like, I don't know, he definitely did a lot of work to pull it off. Like, it wasn't like just any dad could jump into skinny jeans and make it look cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can read Levi Strauss on your belly when you take your pants off, like if you have to use a pair of pliers to close your pants and put a catheter in, you know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, your skinny jeans are too tight, man. Like, but one thing I was gonna say about the 600-pound guys is that the only time that it would be awesome to be 600 pounds is if you're stuck on a deserted island, because you would outlast everyone. You would be the last guy standing.
Well,
so awesome.
100%. You
have a squirrel suit.
Could you imagine being like on Survivor and having like, and being like that? You know what I mean? Some of those dudes, I do feel bad though. That's the thing. It's like sad, because I do feel bad for people who are like at that weight limit, or at that, like, because of the fact that like you have to be healthier. You know what I mean? Like, not healthier obviously, but like,
well, you're gonna die.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, like, your body though, you have to do it in a certain way. Like, I'm saying, like, they could go out there and be like, I'm gonna exercise every day, and I'm gonna get skinny, and then, or I'm gonna get like to like my weight limit, but then they could die because their body can't handle. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard of people dying of heart attacks who try to like lose weight too fast.
Yeah, like they actually tell people it's actually not safe for you to run if you're over a certain weight limit, because all your joints and all the cartilage and all your bones can break super easy when you weigh that much. Because you got to think, if a 500-pound person jumps, that's 500 pounds of weight coming down on their ankles, on their knees, on their hip bones, on their pelvis, like everything. And so it's like they say, like, if you're really fat, just walk, do light exercises. And to be honest though, those small exercises, like Ethan, what's the guy's name? The guy who's in Remember the Titans. He was Ethan Suplee, I think was his name. We used to weigh 500 pounds, and he's like fit now. I'm just gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah,
Ethan Suplee, dude. Look at before and after pictures of Ethan Suplee.
Ethan Suplee?
Suplee. Suplee. Yeah. His skin is kind of flabby. That's the only thing. His skin hasn't gone back yet. But
oh, that guy, dude. Yeah, dude. He used to be huge.
I was gigantic. He was 550 at one point, and it's like, one thing that a lot of fat people say is that your metabolism never forgets when you're fat. So, like, if he eats a cheeseburger, the calories that will stick to his body are like a lot higher than anyone else's, because of how high he was. Like, so him having a cheat day or him having an off day, he doesn't like recuperate himself. Like, that's why you get stuck in the vicious cycle. Like, if you're 400 pounds, your body's never gonna forget being 400 pounds.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, is that like, I feel like sometimes, like, we can make jokes all we want, but like, it's the same way with like alcohol. When people are alcoholics, they can't just stop drinking alcohol. That's actually like a process. You know what I mean? It's actually, I think, the only addiction that you could die from in terms of like if you quit it.
Some of the hard drugs like cocaine.
Well, no, what I meant was that your body doesn't die from like withdrawals. I'm saying you have to have, like, they have to, when you have alcohol withdrawals, I'm saying you could die from the withdrawal period.
Yeah, I guess most people who do hard drugs, they die because they go to rehab and then their tolerance is super low, and they come out and they do like a high dose.
Dude, I knew this girl, not a joke, but it's kind of funny in a way. Not sad, but funny in a way. Dude, she went to rehab for like a while and she did good. Comes back, dude, first day, dude. She's like already like chugging like 6-packs, dude. And you're like, first day out, huh? Coming out hot, you know? And it's like, I like that.
That reminds me of The Office when Andy's brother went to rehab for alcohol and drugs, and he's like, and then his brother relapsed already, and he's like, yeah, I just wanted to get the first rehab out of the way. The second one,
dude, that's not, dude. I remember, dude. She would literally go to rehab, a different rehab. She went to like a long-term rehab this time, and then she chugged them. Dude, she would go to this one rehab though, and she would literally, dude, she would chug little bottles of like alcohol on the way in there. And she's like, yeah, I just want to make sure I'm nice and messed up before I go in there. And I'm like, dang, dude, like, I remember she would like, and I remember one time she almost threw up, and she's like, yeah, I'm almost good. I need one more. She's like, I need to be right at that limit where I'm going to throw up. And I'm like, dude, could you imagine if like, I don't know, I feel like that's like the thing you lose when you're a kid, you know, like I remember one time I ate candy so much that I literally threw up. I literally threw up from candy. My body could not handle any more candy. And I thought, I'm not going to do that to my body again.
I did that with chocolate when I was like 16. But yeah, no, I mean, eating till you're sick, definitely for most people, the last time they did that was like when they were 8 years old, or like drinking.
Well, for you is when you're 16, apparently.
Yeah, no, but like it is kind of like a compulsive thing. And I get it. Some people are super impulsive, but like the one nice thing about alcoholism, at least, is that the support system and the way that people handle alcoholism in society, I don't think there's an addiction that's treated more seriously than alcoholism.
Yeah.
There's AA meetings. There's like a group of community around you. There's sponsors, people who like are your friends who are like here on the journey with you. People who are like all about being thankful for like every day, and like it's just like that's really nice. Like a lot of other addictions don't really have that. I don't feel like as much.
Well, for sure. I mean, you're right. I feel like some addictions people don't want to like admit to. You know what I mean?
Dude, if they opened like a food addiction rehab place.
Yeah, that's totally an addiction too, by the way. Like maybe
it totally is.
What is it? Alcoholic Anonymous? Maybe it should be Food Addicts Anonymous. FA.
I used to think that I was a food addict until I listened to this one podcast where there are these two guys. There's two comics. Have you heard of Robert Kelly and Tim Dillon?
No, I haven't.
But they used to be. One of them's really fat. One of them used to be really fat. But he got like lap band surgery, or no, gastric sleeve surgery. So it like shrunk his stomach down.
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
And he said his food addiction was so bad that he would order like 3 large fries, knowing he would never finish them, and just eat and eat and eat and eat. And he would order like so many different things, and he would never finish it because he'd always want to eat until right before he threw it. Like every time. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That's how the girl was with the drinking.
And I'm like, my goodness. But then it's just, I feel like that's how it starts, you know? I feel like if I didn't have anyone that cared about me, like if I was just like a lonely dude, I could definitely see myself going down. Just What'd you say?
I said if you were like taxi driver.
Yeah, dude. If I was just like doing my shifts late night, if I was still working the drive-thru at Jack in the Box, like why wouldn't I be for it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like
Dude, those freaking dude. I remember one time, dude. When you remember those things we make? What were they, dude? We make it on a croissant. We'd make it with what did we have? We had like the butter cheese,
chicken tater melt.
Yeah, dude, chicken tater melt, dude. And then we had the freaking and then we had also like a burger though. We had the chicken tater melt with the burger, and then we also had a croissant, and then on top of it we had a garlic butter, dude. I remember one time. My ex-girlfriend, I let her try. I bought it. We went to Jack in the Box. It was after I worked there. And I told them exactly how to make it. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, you know what I mean? They charged us the money. And I bought it. And so she's really excited because I was telling her how good they were. Because we used to pump out like 2 or 3 a night sometimes. Like, we were really hungry, dude.
For those of you who don't know, 2 or 3 a night in the Olathe, Kansas Jack in the Box is a busy night. Yeah. That's like Black Friday night.
That's a lot, yeah. Dude, I remember we used to do one on our lunch break though, dude. You know what I mean? And they were so good. They were so good. And so I got it and I had her try it, right? And it was dark out. And, you know, I was like, close your eyes because you're going to want to like taste the flavor explosion, right? Like, you know, like, really, like focus it.
You're hyping it up so much.
She bit into it.
It's such stoner food, dude. It's such like fat guy, greasy scuzz stoner food.
She bit into it. She bit into it, Ethan, and she was like, "Oh God, what?" She's like, everything, and I was like, "What's wrong?" Right? And then she's like, "Everything's the exact same texture." And so I bit into it, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're right." Like everything when you put in that much butter and that much fat, it just tastes like a bowl of fat. Like you're crumpling it up, and now looking back on it, dude, when it left the butter stains and the grease stains in the burger thing. I mean, no wonder in the burger container. No wonder, you know, I feel like I gained weight at Jack in the Box. I don't feel like I lost any weight.
Oh, I feel like I gained weight. My clothes felt like I gained weight because they were bursting at the seams. That's why I refuse to work fast food anymore. Not just because fast food is like a crappy job. Don't get me wrong. I'm 24.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks working fast food when you're 24. But like,
dude, real quick, I remember when I was working there as like a high schooler, and like when me and you were working there like 21, 22-ish, I remember seeing people were older and everything like,
I would have been 19.
I know. I remember seeing them though, like people were older, like David and like even, you know, Chance, who we talked about. We haven't painted in the best light, but I remember seeing them though work there and everything like, God, like I hope you guys have a good day. You know, like I always want the best for them. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you go to work here at like 25, 30.
Yeah, that is one of the benefits of being young. Like I used to think when I was like 18, 19, I was like, who cares about being young? Like who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like people who are like 32, are like, oh man, I wish I was 21 again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or people like you hear it on podcasts or on like radio shows, or like people talk about wishing they were young. I was like, who cares? Who cares if you're being young? And then you realize,
who cares?
And then you realize when you see someone who's 29, who lives with their parents, who's working at Wendy's, and you're like, I do not want to be there when I'm 29. And like, just like, I don't know, like, because there are some situations you might be in where you're like, man, I'm 32, I'm still doing this, like whatever it is, like, and you're like, you thought you'd be further along at something at a certain age.
Sometimes you can work as a GM, like in one of those places, and it's fine. You know, like I've seen people who I, really respect being in those positions, even lower positions than I was in.
A GM is that's like $80,000 a year. You're making really good.
No, like I meant like of the story, you know, like the GM.
General manager.
Yeah, I'm saying like that's a good job, but it's still like I mean, come on, dude. You think Steven worked was our GM? You think he was like, oh boy, I got this call in the middle of the night because somebody didn't fill in their position. I got to go fill it in.
And he owned a 4-bedroom house, and he had he was providing.
You know, but what I'm saying is, even working at a fast food place, I don't care what your job is, it sucks. I'm saying it sucks, like in terms of like I respect them, and I respect everybody, obviously, but like, dude, whenever you have to listen to somebody complain about why they ordered like a double instead of a triple, or why they ordered a triple instead of a double, that's not a good job. That's not a good job. I don't think many people want to work. You know what I mean? If you called Steven up right now and you said, hey, Steven, I got a job for you to pay the exact same amount of money you got. You don't have to move. You don't have to do anything. It's just you gotta go sell tile. What do you think he'd say?
Yeah, he'd definitely do that. For sure. Well, and it's like, and by the way, you should know that if you go to the counter to complain about your fast food order to the guy behind the counter, while you're explaining it, he's contemplating suicide. Just know that. He's thinking like, I was on the fence before, but if this guy says one more stupid thing, that'll take me over the edge. I feel
like higher for the ones that work overnight. I feel like no, you contemplate two things, right? You're contemplating suicide, or like, if you're gonna rob the Quick Trip next door or not. You're contemplating it.
You're like looking up stats on like jail time and like.
Yeah, you're like, well, is it a misdemeanor if it's under 100? You know what I mean? Hand me all the money you got in the drawer. No. Up to $99. You know what I mean? Like what? If it's armed robbery, what do you get charged there? I would look up really funny things, and it wasn't just because Stefan was working there, but.
Yeah, or when I was in the military, I'd look up like desertion laws. Like, what if I just deserted? I just left. Like, what if I just got my car?
Or even, do you ever get in that? Like, I remember one time I was talking to, it was either at Goodwill or it was at Wendy's. I don't think it said Jack in the Box, but I was talking to them and I'm like, what happens if I don't show up today? And they're like, well, you'll get a point. And I'm like, and what will that point do?
Yeah, what is the point?
And they're like, well, that point will, that's 1 point towards you getting fired. And I'm like, yeah, but like, how many points do I need?
I was gonna say, if it's 100 points, you mean I could just not show
well,
up?
it's usually like 5. I think it's 5. And I'm like, you mean I have 1 out of 5 points? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to show up today. And they're like, well, that'll be 2 points if you don't show up now because you've told us why you're not showing up. And I'm like, 2 out of 5?
I still have 3.
2 out of 5? Like, I don't know, 2 out of 5. I'm feeling it, I'm going to take the risk. I remember one time, dude, I was literally throwing up while I was working. And they pointed at me. I was like, hello, how can I help you? And then in the back, I was like, bleh! And I was like, sorry about that, and they're like, yeah, sorry, we're going to have to point you for that. And I'm like, because I was throwing up? Like, I'm pretty sure there's like there's a legality there. Like, imagine if someone like crapped themselves at work. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're good. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
The problem is that there's all kinds of rules. There's all kinds of regulations. Like, you can't fire someone for this. You can't fire someone for that.
Actually,
a lot of times.
Hold up real quick. You can fire in Kansas. You can fire somebody for no reason. I don't know if you knew that. You can legally they don't like doing it though. They never do it. I've never known a company to do it because it looks really bad. But they can.
There's some states where it's like they don't have to give you a reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't have it. Like, I'm saying, like, at Freddy's, they didn't even fire me. They just took me off the schedule, and I was like, okay. So they had no cause. You know what I mean? And they don't have to legally.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of times you don't want to you obviously can't fire someone for discriminatory reasons.
Yeah, well, they would never. Yeah, but they would never say. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, we don't. I'm sorry. Are you Jewish? Yeah.
Yeah, you look.
Is that?
I don't look like you are, so I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. There's no Jews at this establishment, are there?
Oh, I'm sorry, Goldberg. We gotta let you go.
Hey, Seinfeld in the back. I see ya.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Oh, by the way, you had said that you tried.
Oh yeah,
I tried. By the way, I wanted to tell you, I tried the Voodoo mystery flavor.
Yeah, dude, what do you think?
It was citrusy, but I didn't end up finishing it. I wasn't a huge fan.
It's sour candy this year. It wasn't the best. By the way, dude, if you want me to, I'll mail you 2020s. I still have the can and the pop in it.
2020s?
Yeah, mystery flavor. I still have a can of it.
Is it good? Will it still be good?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's not like, dude, see, 2021's is sour candy.
No, I'm saying will all the fizz be gone?
I have no idea, dude. I haven't opened it. How hold up though? For real though, how can I tell you that? Like, how would I know? I mean, and not even I've just never had a can for. I mean, I do. Speaking of though,
wait, it might say shelf.
We'll find out right now. I got this bottle, dude. I bought this bottle a while back of Mountain Dew Thrashed Apple. By the way,
that just why is everything that they come up with titles as if they had screamed it from the top of a half pipe, like doing a trick. Like, thrash apple, nice thrash apple, dude. Like all of their ideas came from the bottom of a skateboard logo or something like
Live
that.
Wire, dude. Dude, what if they had one where, I think I broke my elbow? Mountain Dew. They have like that.
Turn the cameras off.
Someone call the cops. But yeah, dude, I want to try this. I have to have this for about a year actually, so I guess we'll find out if it's still fizz flavored, right? If it's still fizzy.
Most apple flavored things I'm gonna.
Well, this is Mountain Dew. We're gonna try it. This is Mountain Dew, and it looks delicious. Well, it went.
That's a good sign.
Smells appley. It's like barely fizzy at all.
Yeah, I don't know if
it's all right. What did you say?
I don't know if your 2020 mystery flavors.
I'm gonna send it to you. You can try it, and you can try it on air. That's what you'll do.
If you send me one, I'll try. Don't send me one singular can though. Don't waste it.
I only have one singular can, dude.
Oh, I thought you said you had a pack.
No, I only have one can, dude. It's actually okay. It's decent, but the carbonation level is very underwhelming. But in a can, it might be better. You know, I was actually reading about that. How like in cans, that's why they have cans because it suits the carbonation better.
That's true. I feel like, to be honest, if you pour a plastic bottle of soda into a drinking glass versus pouring a can into a drinking glass, I can't tell the difference. But I can tell the difference if it's from a fountain.
Oh, dude, because a fountain's like, I mean, a fountain's like, that's straight from the source, dude.
I almost wish they could have a divider in the middle. I know this sounds dumb, but like, imagine if there's a divider right down the center.
That sounds dumb, dude. No,
you're right. It does sound dumb.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. No, but like the divider in the middle, to where whatever the ratio is. I don't know what the ratio is to like carbonated water versus like the syrup. Like let's just say for the sake it's like 50-50. What if there was like a thing where you screw the top off and you pull out the divider, and then the divider it just freshly mixed the can. You know what I mean? And then you could drink it right then and there.
Yeah, but that's not why it's so fresh, by the way. They have the syrup. They have the syrup and the water, right? They have them separate, but they also have the carbonation separate. Like it shoots them all into it together all at once.
What is?
Dude, what if it was like a top? What if there was like a top? I've seen things like that. There's like a giant top, and you just push down on it and you shoot the carbonation into the soda.
What even is that though? What even is like? What is physical carbonation? Is that like?
No, that's like that's like a thing. We were in chemistry together where they did that. We had that little thing. I
failed chemistry. I was too busy looking at Anna the whole time.
Dude, that was when what's her name, dude? Asail, Isa got, I forget her name. Icy, something like that, dude. She got sucked. Isa. She got sucked up into the bag, remember? And then her dress got caught in it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and she almost flashed everybody.
Dude, no, I know. She flashed everybody. Were you not from the flash angle? Were you not in the flash zone?
Wait, from the front or from the back?
Dude, it was like, wait, where was she at? No, I think it was in the back. I was in the back of her, but it was in the front of the class.
It was like a loose skirt that she was wearing. And the whole thing got sucked up.
And we're going to explain it real quick. So they put her in this bag because our teacher wanted to show something. I can't even remember what it was.
Mr. Slade, so show us how to flash, how to like strip a skirt off a high school girl. Here's how you sexually assault a high school girl.
Dude, but you were in one of the bags. You don't even remember that?
I remember it. Yeah, because he put it over my head. Everyone else was like,
what did he do to you? What did he do?
It sucked all the air out, and I opened my mouth because I couldn't breathe. And then the bag went in my mouth.
Dude, the bag deep throated you, dude.
Yeah.
What did it feel to suck off the plastic bag? What did that feel like?
It was not good. Yeah, but
is that the only job you've given?
Well, are we counting gay sex? Does that count?
No, but yeah, dude, no. But do you remember though, dude? He sucked up. You know what I mean? Put her. Well, I don't know why he picked the only girl with the dress that day. By the way, yeah, I mean.
I know why he picked her. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Dude, so he sucked it up though, and then it caught her dress because she freaked out. She moved like a little bit. It caught her dress and it nearly sucked her dress up.
I think in reality, he put it by her calves because he didn't want to suck up any of her clothes because he wanted to suck all the air out and have it all, be tight to her body. Which that's even kind of weird too. Now that I say it. And then he accidentally moved it and I didn't hear.
No, I think she bumped, dude, because she freaked out. Because it's like you opened it. Why would you open up your mouth in the middle of like that?
That's a different story. For her, only her waist and below was in the bag. For me,
but she twinkled. Dude, I remember her being fully in the bag.
Was she fully inside it?
I feel like she was fully in the bag.
I thought she was standing.
I don't even remember. You know what, dude? She might have been standing. I think you might be right now. She might have been standing. I feel like that's so weird, dude, to think that he bumped it up to her.
I know. Dude, her name was Tiaja. It was
No, it
Tiaja.
wasn't Tiaja, dude. Tiaja wasn't even in our Kim class, dude.
There's like 6 different. I hate girls' names. I hate them so much.
Dude,
There's so many different girls' names that where like there'll be one name and then there's like 10 variations of that same name. It's like Catherine, Kaylee, Katie, Kate, like or something like, or like Emily, Emma, Emmeline.
Dude,
like there's so many different.
Do you know that's how Surge was? Michaela.
Hayla is one.
How many Muzz and then that and then we had Kayla. Obviously, we had a couple other.
Michaela only went for a little while, and then we had 2 Michaelas, and then we had a Michaela.
I think 2 Michaelas and then a Michaela is enough. Like if that had been it, that would have been too much.
Maybe she got voted off the island. Or like, sorry.
Kyla was a girl. I can't even. I made that up. I thought that was. I literally that one.
No, there was actually a girl named Michaela.
Yeah.
Michaela McGuire was her name. Yeah.
Shout out to. Was I there when she went?
No, actually, she was before your time. Yeah, she was like early Surge.
Maybe I just heard stories about her.
Surge, for those of you who don't know, Surge is the name of the youth group we went to.
Yeah. You were wearing the shirt, I think, for the first podcast. The turnout shirt.
Which I somehow, that one Surge shirt, the white one with the red, that one, I had like 3 of them. I don't even know how I got them. And I gave one to JJ. Actually, I'll give the other one to you if you want it. Do you want it?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
All right.
Dude, I remember dude, that actually the one that you had, the teal one, we actually, that was when we had all the Mountain Dew. And then we did the Dew Pong. Dude, do you remember when we had your Mountain Dew? It was Mountain Stars and Stripes.
It was Mount Lightning. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Mount Lightning or whatever. Yeah, dude. And it tastes like poop. It tastes like pee.
It's weird because like if you just drink one glass of it, it's just okay. But then you drink so much of it, you really start to notice the taste difference.
Dude.
It's like if you took like 3/4 of the flavor out of Mountain Dew.
All? Go ahead.
I'm convinced that they just took regular Mountain Dew and just cut it with water. And just like, they took a 2 liter of, like they cut it like drug dealers. Like they took a 2 liter Mountain Dew and then cut it into like 10 2 liters of Mount Lightning.
It was so bad. We started making jokes about it. All the guys started making jokes about it. That's how they torture terrorists, is by giving them Mount Lightning.
They put a cloth over their face and they dunk it on the.
They do taste tests and they're like, "Hey, which one's Mountain Dew?" And they're like, I can't tell. They're both bad. They're like, "Hey, are you thirsty?" You know what I mean? They go get him a drink and it's Mount Lightning. And he's like, "No, please."
It would be kind of funny to like give a terrorist who's like starving just a jar of mayonnaise. That's it. It's all you have to eat is a jar and a spoon. He'd be like, like it would just destroy.
Dude. I remember one time I was watching this documentary and these people, they were like, I can't remember if they were poor or not, but somebody made a joke on there though, because all they had to eat was like barely anything, right? Because they were waiting for their paycheck or something. But I don't think it was because they were poor. I think somebody just made a joke. But they squirted ketchup on a plate and they said, "Here's some ketchup pudding or tomato pudding." Want any? You know? And I remember thinking like, dude, that's how you know it's bad. Like when you have to eat ketchup and you call it pudding. Oh God, because you just imagine a spoonful of ketchup. Like, I could deal with one. I don't know if I could deal with more than one.
I could deal with 1 ketchup packet's worth of ketchup with nothing else. Because you have to have something with it. It's so weird. Because like I love ketchup so much, I almost just eat things as a vehicle for ketchup because I love ketchup so much. But like fries, like I would never just eat fries.
What? Hold up, you just eat what?
I would never eat fries just without anything else.
Say that again. I don't believe you.
What do you mean? I only eat fries.
I've ate fries with you where you just ate fries. Well, I mean, you did just eat fries, and I think I actually do remember you complaining there was no ketchup.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. I'm not saying like I won't like.
Yeah, you're saying. I get you're saying now. You're saying like, yeah, okay, that's fair. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen you eat fries without ketchup. But yeah, I get you're saying now.
It's like I'm not gonna watch a movie if it doesn't have any sound. If you know what I mean? If it's supposed to have sound. Like you know.
Dude, I've watched full-on movies that had like subtitles.
Well, I'm talking where like it literally the sound is off. Like the TV
I know. I didn't finish. I had something go in my throat. I had something go in my throat, dude. Do you not see that thing that flew into my throat? No. I accidentally swallowed something weird, and I was like, oh. No, I was saying I've watched movies with like subtitles that were in a different language, but like it wasn't in English either. Like the movie, movie was in Russian, and then the subtitles were also like in Japanese. And I've just watched the full movie like that, and it's actually kind of cool. It's kind of cool in the way because like, but you have to do it to the right movie. You know what I mean? Like if you're watching like Hard Target, you're not missing much if you watch it like that. I mean, I love Hard Target, but I'm saying it's the action that's so cool about it.
I mean, the sound plays so much into it.
Well, the sound, yeah, but the sound, okay, but a gun going off isn't different in Russian than it is in American, in English. Dude, wouldn't that be so funny? Pow pow, bang bang. Like completely different sound. You're like, was that a Russian sound?
They took out all the gunshot noises and it was just Kevin Hart going, pia, pia. Instead. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that'd be too fun. Could you? I've seen stuff like that where they take out like the wand in Harry Potter and they replace it with a gun.
I haven't seen that. Where have you seen that?
You look it up. They have some funny clips of it.
They have like a gun violence Harry Potter.
Yeah, where they take instead of a wand, so they'll go like this, like Leviosa. You know what I mean? But it'll be a gun and it'll be like bang. It's pretty funny. Yeah, well, like it's pretty cool though because we should do a challenge like that where we watch a movie the whole time and it's in a completely different language. There's nothing we don't know what's going on at all. And we have to make it up.
There's a really funny Spanish version poster of Anchorman called El Reportero, and it's so hilarious. And I've been wanting to get it because it's like, who has a Spanish Anchorman?
Yeah, no, that's hilarious. I love the different names that like countries, because they do it in America all the time, right? Like America will get a foreign film and they'll name it something. So like,
yeah,
famous movie Breathless is the English name of it, but in French it's A Bout de Souffle, which I think I can't remember what that translates to exactly, but I think it means without breath, which is the same as breathless. But sometimes they're completely off. Like one time somebody was like, they were talking about this movie and it was like Man Bites Dog or something was the name of the English name, but then like the French name was like guy goes on a walk with his dog, right? Like, and you're like, well, I don't. What?
That might be a normal phrase in France.
That's but is Man Bites Dog? Is that even like a? I mean,
Man Bites Dog sounds like the rough English translation of foreign, like what was it? Nicolas Cage did a movie called Rage, and the foreign name of it was Tokarev, I think.
Tokarev, what is that?
I don't know. Exactly. I never even bothered to look it up. With the site that I have now, I hate when I watch movies where it's in another language because I have to turn subtitles on, but then the subtitles is on for everything. So like, so like if there's like 2 minutes of the film where people are talking in like Russian, and the rest of the film is in English. Like let's say there's 1 minute here, 30 seconds here, 20 seconds over there, and they're all speaking Russian in those little snippets, but the rest of the movie is in English. I can't just turn on subtitles for the Russian bits.
Wow. The
subtitles stay on for the whole movie.
Does it ever go like car moves slowly down lane?
Yeah, sometimes it does that.
Yeah, dude, those are the worst. Those are like, I think that's closed caption. But yeah, that's the worst. I was actually gonna say though, because we were talking about dogs real quick. I remember when I realized what like dog eat dog world. I thought it was dog eat dog. I thought it was like DOGGIE or DOGGY.
Oh, doggy
like
dog.
Doggy. Like it's a doggy dog world. Like, yeah, I thought it was like a cute phrase. No, they mean like a dog eats another dog. That's a violent phrase.
You know something I still don't know? I've heard this phrase said 2 different ways.
Yeah.
And both groups of people have sworn that it's right. Like,
okay, let's hear it.
The whole family. And it's
murder your family. They're gonna pull a tank on you.
Yeah. On all floors, on all fours.
Dude, it's definitely on all fours.
So I've heard some people say floors, and they like swear that it's floors.
I don't. Why? Okay, but okay. Whenever you're talking about when somebody gets down on their knees and then on their hands, right?
Yeah, on their hands.
Why would they say? Why would on all floors be a thing? I don't.
Because each of your hands and legs are on the floor, on all floors.
How do you say it?
I don't know. I was pretty confident with the floors thing, but then Some guy called me retarded for saying floors. So I'm not 100% sure.
I'm gonna go 90. We should, yeah. What I think our viewers should tell us what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's on all fours.
Yeah, that'll be a true testament to see if you're a good fan if you watched this far.
I mean, I would like to see it because honestly, I'm almost 100% sure. And the only reason why I say that is because on all, what was it? On all floors?
On all floors or on all fours?
But why would you say on all floors, like as in multiple floors?
It means whenever you go down, whatever floor you hit, you're on all of them.
Whenever you go down.
Whenever you hit the deck.
Whenever you take the fall. Dude, speaking of that, when people talk about like cheating in sports, they've actually talked about this. So like there's a company that got caught cheating in sports, right? And they talked about how like they would only tell one of the guys that they were cheating. Like here's the thing, you cannot, I'm sorry, but it would be almost impossible to cheat in the way that people think. Like, for instance, when people talk about like Tom Brady cheating, okay, yeah, Tom Brady could cheat in certain ways. Like they've proved that they reported like St. Louis, Rams practice. Yeah. Certain things, right? But like you can't cheat to the point to where you would beat somebody by like when the Seattle Seahawks dismantled the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl whatever, 46.
Yeah, something like that.
When they dismantled them, yeah. When they dismantled them, I'm sorry, but like you can't you can't fake that.
By the way, I don't know if you knew this, but the Broncos have the 2 worst losses in Super Bowl history, like by point differential.
Wow.
Number 1 was with John Elway. It was like crazy bad, and the other one was with Peyton Manning.
But that's what the score was. 50 to like just not. I don't. Did they even score?
50 to the team that has to change their name now because they suck so bad.
Did they really score though? What if that was like when they scored a touchdown? It just says did that really like in the last like final seconds when they're down by like 40? But did they really score though? Does that really count?
I'm so jealous of my stepdad. Not my stepdad. My father-in-law. My father-in-law, Kaylee, my wife's father, he has a basement and that is decked out. Coast gear. Like literally, the walls are painted orange and blue, and he has like orange and blue memorabilia. He has pennants from like the 70s and 80s from when they won championships and Super Bowls from the 90s, stuff like that. Like he has autographed jerseys from John Elway. He has like all kinds of stuff on it. And
so has your wife become a Vikings fan yet, or are you still working on that?
She still says that she's a Broncos fan. She like refuses to root for the Vikings, which I understand. But she's a fan. To call her a fan of football is like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't know.
Is it like calling that a house behind us right now?
Like she probably couldn't tell you a receiver on the Broncos. Like she's never watched a game in this entire season. She hasn't watched a game. So she's not like that.
Well, hasn't watched a game. I haven't watched Arizona's games, but I mean, I guess you guys are closer though. You guys could watch it.
Have you watched a game? Have you watched one game in the NFL of any teams? She hasn't watched a single game in the NFL at all. Like, and so it's like that kind of shows you how big of a fan she is. Like, you know what I mean? And I envied my father-in-law so much because my father-in-law, the entire time, he's been a fan of the Broncos since he was like a little kid. He was born in 1979. He's been alive for all 3 of the Broncos Super Bowl wins.
When was he born?
1979.
1979?
Yeah.
Oh, he's my mom's age.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, I was shocked to hear that.
Yeah. Well, he had kids young, and I think Kaylee's she's 4 years younger than me, so I guess she'd be 5 years younger than you. But,
yeah. So that makes sense. Anyways.
And so he's just gotten to see all of the Broncos Super Bowl appearances, all of the Broncos Super Bowl wins, all of the great Hall of Famers that have come through Denver. He's seen them do so many great things as a franchise. He's gotten to buy Super Bowl championship hats and gotten to see so many different playoff wins from them. And I remember thinking, dude, I've been a Vikings fan for 20 years, and all I have to show for it is the MVP season from Adrian Peterson's 1 year.
Classic.
And the 2009 season with Brett Favre, we went to the NFC Championship. The 2017 year where we went to the NFC Championship, and then this year where we're doing really good. And that's pretty much it. Everything else kind of been.
Yeah. I mean, as a Cardinals fan though, what do I got?
Right? It's so. it sometimes it upsets me that you're a Cardinals fan because you've been in Kansas City most of your life. You know what I mean?
Dude, well, hold up, dude. I like Kansas City too. Because the thing is, the way I see it is that I don't know. It's just how I like. I was gonna say this too, because in all sports, I always have two teams because I want to. When I was a kid, what it was is that I liked watching sports so much that I'd want to root for two teams. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd want to have two teams, so I always pick two teams from opposite conferences. So like the Lakers are my favorite basketball team. But I also like Chicago Bulls though. Are also like that would be like 1 and 2. Those are my two favorite teams.
I'll probably switch to all Chicago teams except for the Vikings.
Yeah. But it's just more of like, even when I was a kid, it's just because it gives you more to root for. You know what I mean? The only time I haven't done that was with college because KU is so close.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan just as much as I'm an Arizona fan. You asked me who would I root for if they went to the Super Bowl. You've asked me this multiple times. And I think the truth is, I would say right now, I'd say Arizona because they haven't won one. But
that's a big thing. That's a huge thing.
But if they had won one, right, then I would say I would literally just be happy. That would just be, I'd bask in it.
The Cardinals is one of the coolest stories in the NFL. And for those of you who don't know, the Cardinals are like the team that no one ever wanted. They have just been bamboozled around, moved around. They've been to like 5 different cities. They played in like
they're like that stepsister or that no wait. Which one is Cinderella? Cinderella's not a stepsister. Cinderella's like the
Maybe not in that version of the story. No, but like I get what you mean. Like they've played in literally like 20 different stadiums. I was watching a video and it had like every stadium that each team has played in and like the history of stadiums. The Vikings have played in 3 stadiums.
Well, these guys had that one snow collapse too. That one was sick.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And we had the Metropolitan Stadium from 61 to 81, and then we had the Metrodome from 81 to like 2000 something. What year? Maybe it was like 2010.
2010, yeah, 2010, 11-ish.
And then and dude, to be honest, having a good stadium is a sign that your team is going to be in that city at least for a while. Is like the Vikings aren't going to leave for at least another 30 years if they ever leave. I don't think they will.
They're not going to leave, dude. They have first off, the reason why, you know what sucks about
their stadium gets awful.
Yeah.
If there's like Oakland was literally playing on dirt. They were playing on dirt.
Okay, but listen though. Oakland and the Rams, the Raiders and the Rams, okay, I apologize if those fans hate me, but listen, dude, they jump ship. They jump ship as much as they want. They jump ship constantly. Those two teams really move around constantly. I mean, like if you're going to pick a team to move, like it's like saying, let me put it this way. The idea that like Minnesota would leave is as crazy to me as like the New England Patriots leaving or the Kansas City Chiefs. Like those teams have never left. Now, New England's more likely to leave because they actually aren't like tied to cities explicitly in their name. So they could be New England and just move to like a different place in Massachusetts, theoretically.
Or New England covers Maine, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont. So they could move like way up north.
Yeah. But the idea that they would move is absurd to me in the sense of like they have no reason to move. Like their teams don't. That team hasn't moved. Like you just like it's kind of like the Cleveland Browns when they moved, they became the Ravens. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
that's because they wouldn't let them take the Browns and like.
But I'm saying
the NFL said if you leave, you have to like leave the Browns name and the colors and the records and everything, and then when the next expansion team that comes will be in Cleveland. That's what they said. Yeah,
but my point with this though is that when certain teams are too iconic for that city, like you can't move. Like you couldn't be the Minnesota Packers.
Oh, dude. Actually, I would love the Green Bay Packers to leave for like just be like the Milwaukee Packers, just so they can't say that they have the same name and in the same location for so long, you know?
Dude, but Green Bay, I mean that's the coolest. That's the coolest team in the NFL.
I can't even muster positive feelings. Like when I think about the Green Bay Packers.
The cheeseheads, I'm sorry, dude, but I don't even like Green Bay, but I like Green Bay. It's like Dallas. You can't help but like Dallas to some extent.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is also the most hated man in the NFL.
Well, I dislike Aaron Rodgers 100%, but
he is like until he leaves that team, like there's always going to be like He's
It's
the
not about
skid
the.
mark on the underpants of that team.
It's not the skid mark on the underpants. It's not about Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying the team in general. You know what I mean? Like also Brett Favre was one of my favorite QBs growing up.
He was great. Who doesn't love Brett Favre? I mean, he was on the Vikings for a little while too.
Yeah, dude, and he was on the Jets too.
He separated his shoulder in a game and kept playing.
They call it that now. That'll get like a lot of people in trouble. But I mean, yeah, it's funny how like back then you'd be like, yeah, dude, he came out there and played. I remember as a kid, this dude played he broke his leg in the first quarter of a basketball game, and he played for 3 quarters with a broken leg. And people were like, what a guy, like what a champ, you know what I mean? And then now they'd be like, what was he doing? He's crazy, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, what was it? Do you ever watch like old promos for the NFL from like 2005 or something like that?
No, I go ahead though. Let's hear it.
You really notice how much it's changed. I was talking to my dad about that. We were noticing that like in 2005 and in like the 90s and beyond, like in the past, they showed hits. When they showed compilations, they showed dudes snapping collarbones, guys like seriously hurting people. Like, you know what I mean? Guys like getting pushed down, like guys getting laid out. Whereas now when you see promos for the NFL, like NFL on Fox, it'll be like Justin Jefferson making an amazing catch, amazing catches, amazing runs, amazing like plays. But it's not like this guy will never walk again plays. Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, sometimes they'll show Derrick Henry though. But yeah, it's always the offensive player, it seems like. Derrick Henry's thrown men.
Well, they can't show like good blocks, like O-lineman stat compilations where they have to like circle the O-lineman to show the block, because it's like you could be the best center in the world and no one will care.
People, well, hold up. They people do care when you're not good at it.
When you're not good.
When you're good, yeah, nobody cares. But when you're bad, everybody cares.
Like, I watched this one game. It was like 2 years ago, where they were talking about this center on like another team. It was like the Steelers or whatever. And like, there's Robert Smith or something. I forgot his name. And they're like, oh yeah, 14-time Pro Bowler. And I'm like, 14-time Pro Bowl. What do you mean 14? I'm like, how does everyone not know his name? He's like, you know what I mean? Like, and you look at some of those records and it's like, my gosh, man. Yeah, those guys really put their body on the line. Like, those are the guys that have straps and braces on their elbows, on their knees, on their ankles. They got like the neck guards and.
Dude, the offensive line and the defensive line are the equivalent of like trench warfare. That's like World War I warfare right there. Like, that is.
Yeah.
Heavy duty stuff. I was about to say though, the reason why the big hits don't come as often is because they don't come in. I remember when I was a kid, I've seen people get knocked out in a football game many times on TV. That was a thing.
It happens like once a season.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it isn't even because of the rules. It's just because, I mean, you can't knock out people when you have people like Patrick Mahomes who are throwing freaking dimes to people like, you know what I mean, in the back of the end zone.
Well, and the league, whether or not people want to recognize it, the league is getting a little bit softer. People do get like hurt a lot more. Don't get me wrong, like, or not more, but like people still get hurt, like Alex Smith, obviously. Like, so like people still get horrifically injured, but like the way that the rules are like.
Well, but I just think and that's what I'm saying. It's not even necessarily as much as the rules is like, again, it's more of a passing league now. Like, running has really died down. I mean, the only guy you can think of that's like just a strictly running back would be Derrick Henry, right? Who just
Downkirk. There's a few like Tony Pollard.
But I mean, Dalvin Cook and those guys still though. I mean, well, Dalvin Cook especially to some extent, he plays a lot. He also plays in the passing game a lot more than I would ever see Derrick Henry. Does Derrick Henry even catch footballs? Like, is that
he does like shuffle passes sometimes? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I consider that a pass. Like, if he passes it to him, like he makes like a 2-yard pass and he runs.
Yeah. But I'm saying like Derrick Henry, they're like, hey, look, we have 11 dudes right here trying to tackle you. Run through him. That doesn't we don't have style of play like that anymore. I mean, he's the only guy really. And
Samuel is like similar to that a little.
A little bit. He's more elusive though. Like maybe the Ravens a little bit.
Derrick Henry is the best at the run through you like style.
Well, no, not even the best. I'm saying I think he's really the only running back that I can think of. That's his primary goal is to literally, I see you and I'm going to run at you. I'm not going to dodge you.
I'm going to run in a straight line, a perfectly straight line. Whatever.
You know what I mean? Because it's just stupid. No, the real reason why we quit that It's like you were saying about running QBs. You tell me this all the time. It's because running QBs at some point they're gonna have to get they're gonna have to pass. They're gonna have to get past.
They have to win a championship early, or else they're not going to keep their job. Like they're going to get hurt. Something bad's going to happen. They're either going to be turned into a backup like RG3, or they'll evolve like Russell Wilson. They'll become a passing quarterback.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Russell Wilson evolved, and I'm saying, and that's what I mean is that like it's because why can't you do it? Well, because you take too many hits. Like
it's just too much, and with how integral and how that's the right word. Integral. Am I saying it right?
Integral, yeah.
And with how important the quarterback position is to the team. Like,
yeah.
People criticize Josh Allen a lot because he literally doesn't slide, which I can respect because they don't have a good running back. They don't have, he's their lead rusher.
Yeah. I will say this about Josh Allen though. He's like a middle linebacker size dude. Like he's huge. He's not Lamar.
Are getting bigger and bigger though.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like you know what I mean? Like Patrick Mahomes is probably like the standard QB size. Josh Allen's
6'2".
Yeah, Josh Allen's bigger than I think he's 6'5".
Josh Allen is at least 6'5". Yeah, he's really tall.
But I'm saying Josh Allen though looks like a middle linebacker. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying when he takes a hit, it never looks bad. I've seen Lamar Jackson take some hits and I'm like, ooh, I don't. You know what I mean? Like.
And it's funny how the stigma has changed about Buffalo because last year people were talking about how great they were, Super Bowl favorite, they're so amazing, and this year they were like the overwhelming like Super Bowl favorite, but like. I think we've noticed how dependent they are on Josh Allen. Like Colin Cowherd gives them like criticism that like if Josh Allen doesn't have a perfect game, they're not going to lose. They're going to lose. Like if he doesn't throw for like 500 yards and like rush for like 200 yards, like they're not going to win. Like you know what I mean? Like if he doesn't do insane things, and that's why he's been throwing a lot more interceptions now because he airs it out. He's playing hero ball, you know. And,
you know, who doesn't, you know, you always try to play a little bit of hero ball. And, you know, I feel like everybody tries to play hero ball in their life. And I'm not saying that's like, obviously Josh Allen has that issue, right?
That ability, sure.
Yeah. Well, he has that ability and he has that issue where, I mean, you see it with Mahomes sometimes where he tries to play hero ball. But what I was going to say, though, dude, is that, like, I don't know, if you had that ability, I mean, imagine if you could walk up. I mean, okay, let's like put in a different context. Imagine if you could walk up to any girl you want right now and be like, hey, you know, would you like to go out? And they'd say yes, you know, most of the time. Right, like what's Josh Allen throwing? Like what, 60%? You know what I mean? On his worst day, you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, if you could bat 60%, dude, I mean, who wouldn't just throw up some Hail Marys?
Well, that's what some scouts say that hinders college players is that if you're in college and you have like one of the best arms in the league, in college football, then you don't have to depend on your skill as much. You can just air it out like crazy. And like, you know what I mean? Whereas like the guys who don't have that strength have to like do everything they can to like make up for it sometimes. And sometimes having a great arm can be a deficit. You know what I mean? That's true.
I mean that's the same way out as I mean, you think about like those people who like peak in high school, right? You know what I mean? Like that's what it's the same way to some extent. Like I'm saying like, yeah, well I'm saying whenever you have like when you're really good at something, right? Sometimes you being really good at that can actually be really negative because it makes you not work at all towards anything else, right? So you just depend upon it and you don't realize it. Like I remember, dude, there was this guy, I can't think of his name now, but there's somebody in high school, I can't even, like I legit, no names coming to mind. But anyways, I remember, dude, he was really popular in our high school. And I remember one time I saw him and our group of people, like we were just this was like beginning of like sophomore year. We were putting a group of people randomly for the standardized testing or whatever. And he was the quietest kid I'd ever seen in my life. Like he was the most silent, most like, you know what I mean? Very shy person. And it was really odd because I was like, I thought, you know what I mean? Everybody always talked about how cool he was. Then I was like, he's not even really that cool, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And I think it's because he's so dependent upon his friend group almost. You know what I mean? That he really didn't know what it was like to communicate with people outside of his friend groups sometimes.
I can see that. And I think some people, the problem is with maturity, especially when you're young, people make the mistake of thinking that just because you're soft-spoken, just because you don't talk as much as other people, that means you're mature. And that's what happens with some people. Not to say that that's what happened with this guy.
Well, I mean, I think he fart bombed someone like a little bit earlier.
But he didn't say a word.
Yeah, but he just kind of like, you know what I mean? You ever fart? You ever do that thing? Like I can always tell when someone like just like I'll be like sitting down. When someone wants to like let one out, they'll go, you know, they'll just lean You know, you just lean a little bit. You let a little bit. You know what I mean? You just. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
I used to do this thing with Kaylee where while she was taking a dump, I would run in, I would burst open the door, and I'd like drop trow and fart right in her face, like 6 inches from her face. And while she was on the toilet, she can't like move, she can't like get away from it. You know what I mean?
God, dude, that's not a sight I'd want to see. First off, the fact that you would drop trow and she'd have to look at your butt.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're married, so it's not that big. But like,
yeah, dude. But what I mean is, I know, but I'm just saying, dude, I've seen your butt.
Oh my god!
And with the pajamas you wear, I've practically seen every other part of you too, dude. Freaking.
I counted the other day. I have 16 pairs of underwear. 16 Hanes boxer briefs. They just keep buying more. I just kept.
Yeah, that's the official brand of Downkirk podcast.
Sponsored by Hanes.
No, dude, what are those pajamas you wear?
Oh, you're talking that red Union suit that I used to wear? Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I forgot what happened to it.
Dang, dude, Kaylee's really missing out on the best parts, isn't she?
The slit in the back. So, it was like 2 feet long, and it was like so. Every time you would even move just a little, it would like explode open. Like
it was bad. Dude, what were you gonna say about farting in Kaylee's face though?
And she got upset at me, so I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh, yeah. See.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not gonna lie to you though. I mean, like if you had done that to someone who wasn't your wife, that's why you do it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny to do it to someone who can't move. Like they're not.
Well, what I mean is she can't break up with you now. Like she's already your wife.
That's what I did day one.
Yeah. Why are you divorcing him? Because he farted in my face. What? Full what? You guys are here? You have the cat? She gets custody of the cat?
Full custody of the cat.
I just mean, dude, she can't say. I mean, she can't say no to like. She can't just be like, nope, like we're done. You know. Like, I mean, that's like when I always tell people that's when you like really see someone's true colors. That's when you start seeing them eat in their underwear or like.
Yeah, when like you guys are secure in your relationship enough to know that you can kind of just be a little bit more like not your best self. When
I really feel like
this is not gonna be around.
The sign that you know that like you're in a relationship where like you guys have stopped caring to impress each other is like when like when they start wearing sweatpants every day.
I don't think there's such a negative stigma about sweatpants. But I don't even think
what? I own sweatpants. You don't own sweatpants? I wear sweatpants.
I know. All right. Well, for me, I have enough trouble keeping my jeans from ripping, so my sweatpants are like they might as well be disposable. They might as well be like a plastic bag you get from the store. Like wear once and then just leave. Like.
Well, dude, it's because you're a pants ripper, dude. Dude, remember when you used to have to carry an extra pair of pants everywhere?
Well, I kept them in my car. I'm not a sociopath, okay? I didn't keep them around. I didn't keep them under my arm like a book bag or something like that. I had them in my car.
No, dude, but there was a good week there where I think you ripped 7 pairs of pants. I mean, every day.
There was a 30-day period where I went through 5 pairs of jeans. I could not believe why I was doing it. I think the problem is that I fluctuate in weight, and sometimes I eat more unhealthy and I gain, and then I like eat a little bit healthier and I'll lose like 15 pounds. And that's like sometimes when I'm on the upswing, when I'm on like because I fluctuate from like 210 to like 190, and so like when I'm on that upswing, that's when my jeans are like, please don't eat them.
It's so funny to me to think that like, you couldn't say it's because you're going through puberty, like like you're growing, you're a grown boy. That's why you can't.
Why are my legs growing but nothing else is growing? No, but yeah, right now I'm down to like 3 pairs of jeans. I'm like the lowest pair of jeans that I've ever had, probably.
3 pairs of jeans?
Yeah, how many pairs of jeans do you have?
I don't know. I'm in sweatpants days. I've worn sweatpants maybe. No, I wouldn't say that. But I've worn sweatpants a lot though. I mean, probably like out of the last 12 months, I've probably worn sweatpants 60 to 70% of the time.
No, but like how many pairs of jeans do you have though?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't count my clothes like that. I think it's psychotic.
Yeah, I always try to make them last. I'm always like durability. Like, how long can I go? Because I don't like buying new clothes. I like, if I can, I'll buy everything at a thrift store, or I'll buy at like somewhere else. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean,
I don't. For me, clothing is just a waste of money. I'd rather spend money on like food and gas.
No, I totally agree. One time, dude, I found a used tissue in a pair of pants that I bought at a thrift store. So, you ever find little surprises like that? Dude, when I was working at Goodwill, one time I saw somebody just straight up wiped with their clothes. Like there was like a jeans, and there was just like a poop streak right down the middle.
I got really upset one time because I couldn't get this Bluetooth speaker to connect to my phone, and I ripped my shirt off my body. But then I like couldn't, and I was like, I can't just go back without a shirt. And so I walked into Goodwill without a shirt on and bought a shirt. And the lady's like, "You have to have a shirt on." I'm like, buying a shirt.
I thought you were gonna say that you ripped your shirt off and then you wiped your butt with it and then you donated.
And they took it. It was crazy. They took it. They put it in the crap smear pile.
Dude, I've seen crazy stuff at Goodwill, but I was gonna say though, that's crazy. You just ripped your shirt off your body like that.
I was so upset. It was a flimsy shirt. It was a button-down shirt. Like I've been trying to transition to more button-downs, but I hate ironing so much. So like I have more.
Why do you even have to iron them?
Well, they get wrinkly. I don't want to wear like a super wrinkly shirt.
Okay, but you could wear like like my shirt's wrinkly right now, but it's like vaguely wrinkly.
No, dude, I'm talking like where like there is not an inch of fabric.
I mean, but
like the collars, like the points of the collar are like this, like, you know what I mean, or like this, like they're like way, you know, it's like, and then like it'll always be up, like even when you have to keep.
Okay, but what I mean is, dude, what are you balling up your shirts and shoving them in your drawer, dude?
I don't know. Maybe I have some shirts.
You got a wife. What happened?
I have some shirts that are super prone to wrinkles, and other shirts I just put on the rack and they're fine. I think
you're a little old to be picking your clothes up from the dirty pile, Ethan.
I wear clean clothes. Thank you very much. No, but I always try to make everything last as like long as possible. But like I tore like 2 pairs of jeans when I was working for the pest control company the last 3 months because I kept having to get in and out of cars, and getting it the 4 seconds that it takes to get out of a car and in a car is like the 4 seconds of like, it's like right before you jump out of an airplane, like the danger zone, you know, for my parents.
Yeah, maximum turbulence.
Yeah, it's like maximum turbulence, because like your legs are like this, like because and so that's like right when I think that's how I've torn almost every pair of jeans, either that or like climbing the fence. Like I tore my jeans on that fence we climbed one time.
When you had that freaking point right here, your ball sack is right here, and then the point right there.
Yeah, that's what you said, man. That's what you said. I never got to see it, but
could you imagine if you go like, here, let me hop down. Here, wait, here, can you recreate it with your ball sack? Hop up on there. Don't worry. No, I'm not gonna let you get hurt.
And it just goes right through your ball sack.
Oh God!
And you're like, no, that's not how it was.
It was more over here.
Take 2.
Dude, you were climbing the fence because we had to climb the fence to get into the football field.
One person had to climb just to unlock the gate, right?
Yeah. We're not going to say why we were unlocking the gate, but we had to unlock a gate that was locked. Anyways, we were climbing the fence, and Ethan was climbing the fence, and he literally, I don't know what it is. He attracts like the craziest stuff. Like he attracts his pants getting ripped. That's just, whenever we were ice skating and you attracted falling down too, like you just fell down.
Ice skating, that's a pretty normal place to fall down.
No, but I'm saying like, but you fell down differently than everybody else, Ethan. When you fall down, you don't just fall down. You're like, oh God, oh. And people looked over at you, and I remember someone came over like, is he okay? Is he good? Does he need medical attention? I'm a doctor.
I definitely Jew it up a little bit when I fall.
Dude, you messed it up, dude. I remember, so you jumped up on there though, right? And you were gonna hop. You didn't even know it. You're like, oh man, I think I ripped my pants. You're like, I think I'm gonna hop down anyways. And you're about to hop down, dude. I'm like, dude, if you move, it will literally it'll catch your ball sack. Like it's gonna.
That would have been so bad.
And I was like, here, let me untangle your pants from this nightmare that you've gotten yourself into.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine if you had somebody else watching over. Like, you think Stephen Meese would have noticed? You think he would have noticed, Ethan? No, I'm just joking.
I think he's so selfish. That's all I remember about him, is being super selfish. Yeah,
But yes, Stephen Meese, you're not awful. It was just a joke. But yes.
No, I am not joking. You're really awful. I don't like you. No, I mean, maybe you've changed.
He was all right. Dude, I remember we were playing tackle football one time. We had the idea to play tackle football with those group of guys. And I remember somebody got hit so hard. I can't remember who.
It wasn't fair because we were seniors and they were freshmen. So I had like 3 guys on me and I was still running. I was like making Derrick Henry runs. Like, because they're so much smaller than us. They were literally like a foot shorter than us.
Ethan was significantly less athletic than he is currently. I mean, he was more athletic then. So like as athletic.
I don't know. I feel like I was more athletic then than I am now.
Yeah, dude, because you were part of the dream team back then, dude.
Yeah, dude. That was an awesome group.
But
high school.
What'd you say? Go ahead.
For the listeners who don't know, we were awesome at high school, Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah, we should just spend a whole episode talking about the dream team. Maybe that'll be your episode.
Next episode, we'll talk about the dream team. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say though is, yeah, dude, somebody hit this kid so hard. I can't remember who it was, but I remember they leveled this kid, dude, and everybody was like, "Ooh!" Like I remember everybody was like, "Yeah, maybe tackle football wasn't a good idea." You know what I mean? Like when somebody gets leveled like in an NFL game, it's like exciting. When you're just playing a backyard football game and someone gets leveled, the mood changes.
So much so. I mean,
it's like
yeah, dude. I think it was Derek. It was either Derek Young or Brock, who like they hit them, like they were trying to hurt them. I can't remember. They hit them, but it was like a push where you push them up into the air and then like, you know what I mean? Like instead of just like pushing them down, it was like a push up. You know what I mean? Like you go airborne for a little bit.
It could have been anybody, really. That's the thing. I just remember the hit. You know what I mean? It was like a blur. Do you ever see those? Like, you ever play sports and then you make a move on someone? I remember I was playing sports with my little brother, and this girl that's like around his age, and they were playing on the same team against me, right? And so I go for like a loose ball, like a rebound, right? And it like bounces and it hits the ground, and I like chase after it, dude. And I freaking go over, I just run like normal to go get it, dude. And she runs into me, dude. And she literally leveled. I was normally running like I normally do, right? And she hit me, dude. And I'm not joking, dude. She hit me with such force, dude. She like bounced off me and like leveled herself off of me. Like I didn't, you know what I mean? Like I didn't lower my shoulder. You know what I mean? I didn't do anything. She ran into like my hip, dude. And she like flew back a little. She's like, oh God. And she started crying. I felt so bad, but I was like, oh my God. Like
yeah, well, that's not fair though, because they can just cry their way out of it.
And then I grabbed the ball and I dunked it right on her. Yeah. I'm not gonna.
And then you gave her a wedgie. No,
I stole her lunch money after that. That's what I did.
I remember there was 2 weeks in my life where I was good at basketball, and I was never good again. Or before. It was just that little 2-week period of time. It was when it was PE activities. Like it was PE class, but it was like later. It was like sophomore, junior year. It wasn't the one that we had together.
Sophomore, junior year, yeah.
And might have even been first semester, senior year. But the way that I played basketball is I always sucked at shooting, and so people wouldn't pass it to me. So I'd spend most of the time just boxing people out, blocking. Like, I don't know. Like most of the time just watching other people play for the most part. And then I was like, you know what? Like we had a new basketball unit that lasted 2 weeks. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play basketball if it kills me. And so I played basketball like I was playing tackle football. I was literally like mugging people for the ball. I was pushing people down. I was like diving, like where like the ball like rolls a little bit away from where you're playing basketball. Some of the guys like, oh, I'll get it. I was like running. I ran and just did that to a guy's ankles. Just like grabbed his ankles and slapped his face on the. And they were like, "Dude, it's just basketball." And I was like, "But that's how I thought. This is the only way. I either have to like physically assault everybody to get the ball, or I have to not play at all. Like, because I would just be watching. I would just be watching him.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I remember one time when I was playing Nolan. You remember Nolan Lease?
Is it Lease or Lies? Because we always said
it's Lease, but it's spelled like lies.
Yeah,
but anyways, dude, he would literally run up to people and he'd kick them in the nuts and then he'd shoot. He was so aggressive, but he went to one guy because this guy just allowed him to. I guess I don't know, like, because he would not have kicked me in my nuts, dude. I'll tell you that. But
I was gonna say we're fighting. I don't care.
Yeah.
If it's still a game.
Run up to the guy and he like literally like use his crotch as like a freaking step ladder.
Except for when in terms of like flag football, there's a lot of dick grab in flag football. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of like crotch reaching in flag football.
Crotch reaching in flag football and like using somebody's crotch as a step ladder.
Really different things, right? Up and dunk.
Yeah. Dude, he didn't dunk, but he would just, dude, and also every time Nolan would like shoot, he would like throw it off the backboard. I mean, like there were a couple times where I thought the backboard was going to break. He threw it so hard. There was no finesse. It was all just power. You know, it was funny too because it reminds me of Jesus. Me and you, freshman year when we were at PE together, Jesus, dude, when he would go down for a rebound, he'd go up and then he'd elbow anybody by him. And one time he elbowed me right in my throat, dude. It sucked.
What sucks so much about our freshman year is I think Ultimate Frisbee was like one of the earlier units that we did. It was like either the first or second thing we did the whole year.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the units we sucked at. Like I wasn't very good at. Like we sucked at badminton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought badminton, I was gonna dunk on everybody. It was gonna be super easy because you see the birdie going through the air and it goes through it. Like,
dude, badminton sucked. Badminton
is so much harder than you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, I played badminton with Katie Hoosh. Actually, she was like in the other unit.
Oh, I remember. Wait, I thought it was
Hoosh.
She the one who would always wear like all black, like with black yoga pants and like black Converse and the black sweatshirt.
I don't remember, honestly. Like I don't remember much, but I just remember playing badminton with her because I sucked so bad, and I just remember her laughing at me rightfully, and it was awful. But I hated it. I literally hate badminton. Who plays badminton? Old people? Like, no offense if you like badminton, but obviously, but like, it's old people game. That's like golf. You know, you don't play golf till you're like 40, dude.
I was thinking of Ashley March. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah.
I remember her now.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it was just always like it just sucked. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, dude, Ashley had a brother named Evan who was really funny. By the way, I had math class with him. Evan Marsh.
Oh, I never met him. I hate when you're trying to impress a girl with sports and you suck so bad at them. Like I was at this one work event.
You suck so bad at them.
I was at this one work event. It was like a beach day for the Marines, and they had cornhole. And for some reason, this guy like measured it out, and he's like, the cornholes have to be 35 feet apart. I'm like, holy crap, dude! Like literally, the board was like this. It was like that. When I was looking at it, that's how small it was. And I'm like, I literally have to go. I have to throw with everything I have.
You have to do a 3-step drop back just to even get it on the board.
I have to shot put this thing into the thing.
Wait, real quick. You shot put it? Why don't you just? I just pop it up there like a basketball.
I was just joking. I was like grabbing the corner.
I love how you just. Oh, dude,
I was grabbing the corner and going like that, but I was like giving it more than I usually
would. On that, I feel like that control has nothing. You've got the corner.
All right. Well, let me finish the story. Okay.
All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And so this girl was there. I forgot her name. This Hispanic chick that I was really into at the time, and she was like laying on a towel, in like next to the ones, but she was like watching us. She was like sitting with like her knees up, like girls do.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh man, like watch, like which I don't even know what I was thinking. I'm like, you're gonna be my girlfriend because I'm good at cornhole. Like if someone had said that out loud, like what do you think? What do you think she's gonna do? She's gonna get down on one knee and ask you to marry her because you rock at cornhole on the beach.
He goes, "Hey Ethan, I know this is kind of weird, but like, you're so good at cornhole. Can we go on a date like now, immediately?
Like this needs to happen.
This right now,
immediately." And whereas like when you're in the heat of the moment, it's almost like right back to elementary school. You think like whoever's the fastest kid, that's the one that all the girls.
Yeah.
And dude, I went on to miss 30 shots in a row, like one after another, after another, after another, over and over and over. And the 3 guys that were playing were some of the best cornhole players I've ever seen in my life. Like they were like sinking. Every other shot was a sink in the hole. And I was like, which how rarely do you see a sink? Like I see a sink maybe once every like 5 throws.
You mean like they don't hit the rim at all?
Or it goes right into the hole.
Wow.
It was like almost every other shot was like a right into the hole, right under the hole or on the board, almost every time.
Wow.
And I was like, I was not even touching the board for like 10 hole shots straight. Like,
did you play?
I was not in the zip code of the board.
Did you play for money? Did you play for money at all?
No. That would have made it more exciting.
Oh well, no. What I mean is that like, I mean like they're probably trying to run like a hustle on you, dude.
Maybe. I mean, it was just people I worked with. It wasn't like.
Dude, that's how they get you, though. That's how they get you. They'll be like, "Oh, you never play cornhole? It's not even that hard," and they'll like make you feel good, and they'll be like, "Hey, you want to place a bet?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, sure," and then they'll go off. Dude, I remember when I play cornhole. I mean, I've seen some people like that, dude. Those cornhole guys, they're the guys you don't even. They're the dudes with like bags of chips in their hand. You know what I mean? Like, what game is this? You know, and they're like eating.
And then they're like, "I'll play," and they pull the fingerless glove out of their back pocket. And they put it on.
Oh, here, let me give it. Here, let me. No. At first, they're like, "Oh, let me try this one." You know, they're like, "Oh, it's kind of cool."
Right? What is this? What's this beanbag game?
Yeah,
is this beanbag game?
What is this? What is this? Wait, play with it a little bit. Oh, what is this in there? Is that real beans? What is? Oh, no.
Beanboard Deluxe.
Yeah, they'll toss it up, you know, and they're like, "Oh, cool, you guys." He's like, "Well, actually, you know, I got like $5 if you guys want, you know, anybody want to bet, you know?" And then all of a sudden you're like, "Sure, I'll bet $5, you know?" And they're like, "Oh, perfect." And then they whip out like their freaking, you know, they whip out their own beanbag. You know what I mean? They have their own set.
And next thing you know, you're throwing your title in between holes to see who wins the car, you know?
Next thing you know, you're honey, you're trying to convince your wife to give you her wedding ring just so you can win back the money you lost. Honey, it's double nothing. Okay, look, we're gonna win it back. We're gonna win your wedding ring back. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just need that deed to the house. That's it.
Just that the house isn't going anywhere. Okay? I'm just getting the deed just to show that I'm committed. You know what I mean?
It's collateral. Do you ever?
Eddie said that we could still live there and pay a modest rent if he wins it. Okay, it doesn't. He has to give us 30 days to vacate. Stop. You're always like this.
Yeah. Okay? Stop being selfish. Stop it.
Like as if she's crazy for not wanting to give. Do you know anything about cornhole?
It's funny to me when people say the same thing over and over. No. Quit asking me.
It's like how me and you were joking about the guy on World War Z, spoiler alert, who trips and shoots himself in the face and kills himself like seconds into them landing.
First off, that's the realest moment in a movie I've ever seen. That's the realest moment I've ever seen.
I know, right? Like dude, the idea that it's so funny because you could totally just give someone a gun and just be super confident and then and if they try to ask a question, you'd be like, "Do you know anything about guns?" Like you know what I mean? You're supposed to load the bullet in the tip. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I would slip and shoot myself with a gun, but I'm saying I wouldn't be far off from like making a mistake.
I think that every time I've ever held a gun when I was in the military, I always was like, "Don't kill someone. Don't kill someone." Like every second, I was like, "Don't shoot someone in the face. Don't shoot yourself in the leg." Like the entire time I had it, because it's like there is like a stress. Like even like I have a loaded gun in my apartment, and I still like think to myself, like, man, I hope like just there's so much fear involved in like the fact like even holding it, like even just holding it to put it
Yeah.
in the drawer, that even freaked me out.
It's so funny to me to think that like that's your feeling. To me, dude, the best line I think I've ever heard that describes it is in Superbad when they're like, "What's it like to have a gun?" It's like having a second cock. I mean, that's really that's what it feels like to me, dude. You have a gun, you're I'm not saying it's not powerful, but it's like powerful in like a I don't oh man, I don't you know what I mean? Like you grab it like,
the gun. It's like
yeah.
Capri Sun.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Respect the pouch, dude. Yeah. It's like I almost feel like this immense amount of power that's like almost overwhelming. You're like, oh, I don't
the idea that you make a mistake and your life's over, you make a mistake and you go to jail forever. That is what's happening when you hold a gun in your hands. That freaks me out. I still can't get over it.
See, I think I still have that like, elementary school mentality, like, look at who has the gun. You know what I mean? Like I'm hot, I'm hot stuff because I got a gun. You know what I mean?
Like Jonah.
I'm not thinking you're being so responsible. You're like, well, oh man, my insurance would go up by 30% if I shot someone. You know, like.
All right, no one cares about insurance when you're sending lead down range. Okay, there's bodies stacked 10 high. Okay, no one gives a crap about guns.
Do you remember that news article that we saw where it was like 4-year-old like has like shoot someone at like a gun range? And I was like, why would could you imagine a 4-year-old having a gun?
I get like, I don't know, gun fanatics take it to like another level.
Here's the thing too. I actually, because I talked to one of my other friends about this, and I don't think it's wrong to have like, okay, a 4-year-old could have a gun, right? But like at a gun range where like they could shoot somebody else, like if you're watching them and you're like holding it with them, but I'm saying like to hand a child a gun and be like, no real supervision.
Well, a gun range with a coach there present at a gun range, like is one of the safest places that you can be with a gun.
Yeah. Well, in that scenario, but obviously,
I mean something happened. The problem is that you have to have some level of strength. Like when you fire a gun, the thing that always gets me in movies, in movies when they show someone, like the scene where Owen Wilson in Wedding Crashers, where he fires and he like gets flown back.
Yeah.
No gun on earth will ever fly anyone back. It's never gonna fly you back ever. Like you can take the most powerful gun, you could take a 240 machine gun. It's not gonna launch you back. You could take a shotgun. It's not gonna like fly you back into the wall. It might make you go like this a little bit. But like the only way I would say that would happen, it wouldn't even happen with a 4-year-old. They're not gonna be like taken off their feet. You know what I mean? Like that's how places make it seem. It's just like there is like a level of fear when like you don't know what to do, where it's like.
I feel like here's what I even meant by giving a 4-year-old a gun, right? Is like it's the same way you let a 4-year-old drive the car, right? Like you let him sit on your lap, you let him steer a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they're not, but I'm saying like imagine if you just hopped in a car and the 4-year-old was in the driver's seat. And they can't even like see over it, and you're like, go ahead, drive. You're good.
Steer or you'll kill the family.
Yeah, right. Like go ahead, yeah. No, they're like, well, we're on the highway. I know, yeah. You better get up to 70.
I was half your age when I learned how to drive.
Have you ever noticed that? Yeah, old people do that. You know what I mean? Old people always say stuff like that. But no, man, could you imagine that though? Like seeing dude, what if you looked over and you saw a 4-year-old driving a car?
Yeah.
Wait, dude, would they have to be sitting in their booster seat?
They would have to.
That'd be so
The booster seat is not supposed to be in the driver's seat.
Could you imagine? That would be terrifying. Why are they in a baby seat? Why is the driver in a baby seat?
You buy one of those like Fisher Price like plastic steering wheels, and you're like, so how do you plug this into the dash? Like, you know that this isn't like a functional steering wheel, right? Like it's pink and orange.
What is a steering wheel though? Like a steering wheel literally is the most simple piece of equipment ever. Could you imagine if someone said, "Oh yeah, sorry, your steering wheel, it's broken," and you're like, "What do you mean?" Like, and they're like, "No, the actual wheel part of it's broken. It's just."
Dude, the part that freaks me out, because I actually saw an action movie where the steering wheel's gone. The guy was just holding it like this, like the little gear. He was like,
yeah, I've seen that. It was just like a wrench on it, right?
No, it was like a little. It was.
Yeah, but I'm saying he put a wrench on it, right? And he turned it like this, or no?
No, that's not the one I watched. I watched one. He literally had his hands like this close together. And he was
Wow.
He was like, no, but like what gets me when I watch NASCAR, and I don't know if it's like this with Formula One, where the steering wheel, you take it out whenever you get out of the car. You literally just go, and then like you take it with you whenever you. I'm like, how, when you're going 180 miles an hour, has the thought ever crossed your mind? What if I just did this and it just came off on a turn at 180 miles an hour? Like, is that? I can't be the first person to think about that happening. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine if he sneezed, just
because it always looks so easy for it to come off. Like it's always like in westerns.
There's obviously like a locking mechanism.
Yeah, but it should be like a combination lock, like with like a key on either side, and then two people have to turn the key at the same time for you to get the steering wheel off. Like that's how it should be. They
have to send in a code from Asia all the way to you.
And then you put your fingerprint in, and then it comes off, and then you have to like undo a bunch of wires. Like it shouldn't just be like it shouldn't be that easy.
What's funny to me too, though, could you imagine though if it was that difficult and they're like they're trying to celebrate a win? They're like, yeah, give me a sec. They're like handcuffed to the steering wheel. Yeah, give me a sec. I gotta give me.
By the way, do you want to close this out with some hidden gems? Do you have a hidden gem in the pocket? Because if not, I got one. I can give you some time to think of it.
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay, so my hidden gem is I think it was 1983, if I want to be sure, but 1983, Rodney Dangerfield, Easy Money, somewhat of a hidden gem. It was probably big when it came out, not as big anymore. Billy Joel actually wrote an original song called Easy Money for the opening soundtrack, so which is actually a pretty good song.
Yeah, give us a little synopsis.
So Rodney Dangerfield is like a degenerate smoker, gambler, drinker, like goes to strip clubs. Like he's just like a New Jersey type of dude. Like he's like lives in Staten Island. He's like he eats a lot. He's fat. Like he just has fun. You know, he's a baby photographer.
Wait, what did you call him? A New Jersey kind of guy?
Yeah, but then I said Staten Island. I forgot. Yeah, Staten Island.
That's hilarious though that New Jersey has that. Like you just say that, and
And I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like a loser. Yeah.
Wait, not like kind of guy, but like a New Jersey kind of guy.
Yeah. And his mother-in-law dies, and she says you can inherit millions of dollars because she's like a rich heiress. You can inherit millions of dollars, but for 1 year you have to no booze, no drugs, no cigarettes, no philandering, like no going to strip clubs, and you have to maintain a weight of 175 pounds by the end of that year. And so like he has to just be clean and eat clean, and for him, he's Rodney Dangerfield, and he's like big and fat, and it's like really hard. And his best friend is Joe Pesci.
Well, dude, real quick, now we know he must be from Staten Island because the no strip club thing would never have flown with one of those New Jersey type guys.
Yeah. I'll just give you the money.
I'll just give up. That's not even a movie. The movie would be 5 minutes. He'd hear the conditions and he'd be like, oh yeah, I guess that's not happening.
The guy who played the principal from Ferris Bueller, the redheaded dude, he is the brother-in-law, and the stipulation said if Rodney Dangerfield's character can't be within those parameters, then the brother-in-law gets all the money. So the brother-in-law is like bringing naked women to the house, like smoking cigarettes in front of him, like eating cheeseburgers in front, like doing everything he can to get the guy to like be fat and, you know, smoke and do all the things he's not supposed to do and stuff. So
wow,
it's a pretty good movie.
Sounds pretty fun.
And during that entire time, his daughter is getting married, and they have like a whole thing about that, and that's like a funny thing. It's the chick who was in Fast Times, the chick who like got naked in Fast Times. Remember her?
Yeah, I do vaguely. Yeah.
She was. Plays the daughter.
The girl who made love. I don't know if you'd say love. She did something
with Damone.
Damone.
Yeah. Which if maybe fast forward that scene for our Christian audiences. But I didn't explain too much of the movie. That's the setup of the movie, and then the rest of it. It
sounds like his brother might be the New Jersey one from New Jersey after all.
Yeah.
But yeah. I just like talking more about New Jersey. Even though, did you know Aqua Team Hunger Force? Which, by the way, that could be a hidden gem. The movie, I actually really love that movie.
Do you want that hidden gem?
No, Aqua Teen, but I'm gonna plug it right now. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, movie film for theaters, is not for the Christian audience, but it's a very funny movie. And they're actually in New Jersey, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's why it's funny. But yeah, anyways, the movie I pick is called 20,000 Leagues Underneath the Sea, the 1966 version. Have you seen it?
Not the 1954 one.
No. Is it 1954? It's 54. I think you're right. It's 54.
The one with Kirk Douglas. You're talking about the one with Kirk Douglas?
Yeah.
That's on my worst movie ever list.
Really?
Okay.
You don't like it?
No, I didn't like it. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say why I didn't like it because I didn't like it. But, For sure. I really like it. I think I like it, though, because it's definitely, to me, I really like that style, though, of movie. Like, I like that old adventure movie. Yeah. It's on the highest on my number list.
Really?
20,000. I don't think there's any.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I would recommend it because I think I really just like that kind of, and I love underwater movies. I think I've told you this. I think there's not enough underwater movies made. I kind of upset that space gets all the glory. I love space, but
water is kind of cool. I mean, there's SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. There's The Life Aquatic.
Oh no. But I mean Life Aquatic. I mean like the Abyss though is also a really good one. I love.
Oh, dude, that's a great water adventure one.
Yeah. The Abyss, also, we'll say The Abyss. The Abyss, though, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea are the only two adventure movies I've seen that I think really capture why I like the ocean so much.
You ever seen The Sphere?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that one was pretty good.
That's an underwater one, right?
It's kind of, but it's more of like Alien, though. That one's too close to Alien. That's literally Alien underwater, though. I mean, that's literally...
Well, The Abyss is also...
Well, no, but it's different, though, in the sense of, like, I'm saying, like, Alien, though, like, The Sphere, though, is literally, like... I mean, the
it's
movie,
more of a setup with the aliens.
Yeah,
you talk about the aliens way earlier.
Yeah, well, and also on top of that, though, the alien starts like killing people. Spoiler alert! In Sphere, it's good. It's a good movie. It's a fine movie.
I don't think it's a spoiler to say that people die in the Sphere underwater.
I just meant that like it's kind of similar where they have to hunt down the alien and stuff. Whereas in the Abyss, they never have to hunt down the alien. Do you know what I'm saying?
Have you seen recently? It just came out. I think it was either 2020 or 2021. It's a Kristen Stewart movie with T.J. Miller as well.
Underwater. Yeah, Underwater. No, I haven't seen that one. Yeah.
That one was really good.
Yeah. But see, we're starting to do this now because we have the technology to do it. But I really love also the Silent World or any of those Jacques Cousteau. I love those movies. So I guess my hidden gem pick is just a bunch of different underwater movies because I love underwater movies.
I mean, all of those movies aren't super well known that we just listed. I mean, maybe The Abyss is kind of well known.
Well, also the Abyss director's cut, I think, is probably, it's worth the time. Honestly, it's so much better than the other version.
Do you consider a director's cut or an extended cut two separate movies? From, like the original
yeah. I mean, I do in the sense of like, well, it depends on what the changes are. Sometimes they're very minimal, and in that case, I would say they're not enough. But I'm saying there's a completely different ending on director's cut for the Abyss.
Okay. For me, the distinction I made is it has to be 50% or more unique to that version.
Yeah, I think the way I would say it is either there has to be like a significant difference. So either like the ending is really different or like a scene that's really important. So like, for instance, if in Taken, his daughter, it'd say director's cut of Taken, his daughter didn't get taken, but instead his wife did. And that's why it's called Taken. I mean, that would change the movie.
Such a huge change in the movie, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If that's only 10%, if that's only 5% of the movie, but it changes so much of it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like how we feel about it and the perspective, because then it's a whole new movie.
Yeah, because you're right. His daughter is only in like 2 scenes.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like it wouldn't really be that huge of a difference.
He would still be in like in pursuit mode.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which, dude, that scene. So you remember the scene where he comes in and he talks to Marco from Papoya and he's like with all the guys in that living room and he pretends to be a cop and be a dirty cop. Remember that?
Yeah.
I've watched that movie 20 times and it took me like on like the most recent time I just watched it to figure out what he was doing. I never understood what he was doing. I realize now that he was a dirty cop negotiating like the rate of their business, like sex trafficking business. He was negotiating like what percentage he gets to like look at it. And whereas like I was like what like talking about satellites and talking about like different things like and I'll have you know that the rate won't go up again for a year. And then like I'm like what does this have to do with anything? Like I'm like just kill people. Like when I was watching it when I was like 10, I was like kill people. Please.
Kill people.
Stop talking.
People. Kill more people. You're like clapping at it.
But I honestly think Taken is the most well-written action movie ever. Like, in terms of, like, the dialogue.
Okay, hold up. I'm not saying it's not great. I do think Die Hard kind of... Okay, actually, you know what? Because Die Hard is
think about the great lines in Taken. I'm a preventer.
What about... Die Hard is known... I think Die Hard's the first quotable action movie ever.
It's quotable in a 80s cheese way, not in, like, a serious, like, dramatic way. You know what I mean?
What about Yippee-ki-yay?
That's the example you choose.
That's pretty serious. God. That's a pretty serious moment when he's shooting at people.
Oh my god.
Dude, wait. What about the ending? Actually, this is the reason why. Because you remember that guy. Spoiler. I don't even know why I'm spoiler Die Hard right now. But like, do you remember that? Do you remember that scene where that guy comes back at the very end that fell from 70 stories? Dude, he fell from so high up. Do you remember that?
And then he lived.
Yeah. No. He falls though. I was saying somebody died. Like we thought was dead earlier, like the goon, one of the bad guys. I call them goons. One of the bad guys, like it wasn't Alan Rickman. It was one of Alan Rickman's like side pieces. And
that's the only other movie I've seen Alan Rickman in, besides the Harry Potter series.
What about he's in Die Hard 2, I think, for a second, or did he die in Die Hard 1?
Did he? Well, he died in Die Hard 1, but he might have been back in Die Hard 2 as like a flashback. Or wait,
well, I thought
they
like
do
a
the thing
video.
With like a twin brother.
Yeah, I thought it was like
guy
things.
Who had like an eye patch or like glasses or something.
No, not like a twin brother, but somebody related, you know. So they're like, oh, I knew, you know, you killed my cousin, you know.
And it's also just Alan Rickman with a mustache or something like
that. But what I was gonna say was this guy, the guy comes back at the end of Die Hard, and it's the stupidest thing ever. I mean, that movie, for as good as it is, I cannot believe that guy comes back for one. Like, he's like out of the building, and they're like running towards everybody, and then all of a sudden the guy's like, "Wait a minute, what about me?" And he like comes after
he fell 70 stories.
He fell down the building or something, and I just really like, you were dead. Like, you were pretty dead. Like, yeah, I love in movies.
You fall so hard onto a car that the car, like the middle of the car, slaps the pavement. Yeah, you're dead. Okay.
I hate in movies how sometimes when a guy comes back, they'll just like, yeah, he's back. And you're like, wait, you're not gonna. There's no, and I get sometimes there doesn't need to be an explanation, but in that scene, I was like, why is he alive? Like, I just want to at least see how he survived. Give me anything. When I fell, I had a parachute. You know, and you're like, all right, I guess. Like, I didn't see a parachute, but.
It's like that one guy in Kingsman Secret Service who gets shot in the face, point blank, and then the next one he comes back with like an eye patch. And you're like, all right, dude, all right.
Yeah,
okay. So we're in fairy tale land now.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to watch it. Yeah,
because I never even watched the second one. Because I still kind of want to, because I know it's just gonna be a silly action movie, and I love silly action movies.
It's gonna be pretty good. It's probably gonna be pretty good.
I know it's probably gonna be pretty good, but that is such a hard thing for me to get over. Like. The nice thing I liked about the newest Batman that they made, they did everything they could to like make it as realistic as possible. Like if there really was a guy who wore a bulletproof suit and fought people, which is kind of a crazy thing, like how would it actually work? Like the police would kind of reject that. They're like, dude, just we're trying to do police work. Like,
you know, there's actually been a real superhero already, right?
What do you mean?
There was a guy in Seattle who's like a superhero. You didn't know that? For like a real life superhero. I can't think of his name.
He wore a costume and he saved people.
Yeah. And
the problem is that I feel like I would spend most of my time looking for crime. Crime is not just gonna it's not like you look down from a building and there's someone getting mugged. Like,
dude, dude, this is hilarious. We got to go into this next time because it was already so. But dude, it is so funny because he talks about how his first day, when he was like becoming a superhero, he did do that. He like stayed on a rooftop looking for bad guys, and he saw somebody get robbed by some chance. And he saw somebody get robbed, and so you try to hurry down like the escape ladder. Exit. And by the time that he got down there, the person who got robbed was like beaten up, and they're on the ground, and they're like, what are you doing, dude? You're an idiot. Like they literally were. This person was here to help them from getting mugged, and then when he got there too late, they're like, get away from you, loser! Like you can't even do anything.
Have you heard of a tactical zip line? Have you heard of that? Because that's what you need. You need to rappel down the building.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Anyways, we should talk about it. We should talk about it next time. But,
Final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. Let's see. Don't wait a year to drink a soda pop.
Yeah, good point.
I think that's the thing I learned. Also, when your jeans are too tight for you, just move on. That's for you, Ethan.
Yeah, I definitely needed that. My final thoughts are go Vikings and stand by for the release of Girth of a Nation.
Yeah, that's on deck right now. Girth of a Nation.
Yeah.
Presented by Haynes.
Presented by Haynes.